Alright, we finally got all the block roughly set in place. Been working on it the last few minutes out here. I still gotta go back and mortar it. But that's the full lower dam wall completed. Now all that's left is the upper wall. Line the inside of it so it doesn't leak and fill it up with water. I'll get that mortared together and start on my timbering here soon to make that a grotto. I think it's going to turn out really good. I may try to dig a little bit more out of the inside on this backhand side. Widen it out just a little bit more. But I think it's came out pretty good so far. We'll start working on doing the water wheel down through here next. It'll take me a little bit of time to get everything lined out, and I still gotta finish up the upper wall too, but we're getting pretty close, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one and stay tuned to the next. Thanks for watching. Alright, this is what wood we ended up with. We got all the loose branches and stuff piled up over there and cleaned up out of the way. I have this right here, and then the main tree we cut, I got the main part of it. It's got a pretty good curve to it. I'm gonna try to set it going from like right here, curving across down over there somewhere, and I'll put supports coming up. But it's gonna make my guardrail. We'll get all that put in place and give you all a look at it when that's done. Alright guys, I put that piece of wood up there where I was thinking about putting my railing, but I really don't like the way it looks, and it blocks most of the dam, and it just doesn't really work with what I got going on. So I'm going to move it from right there, and I'm going to try to utilize it on the inside. I decided that would be something that would work real good for me to try to make cover for if I do put fish in here, that at least half this can be shaded. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to take it from this rock over here somewhere, and then I will run beams across into the bank over there and cover it up, so at least half this area is shaded. I think that'll work a lot better, and I'll get back to you when we get that put in place. Let you see what it's looking like and where we're at. Alright guys, this is where I ended up putting it at. I'll build supports across half of it, and that'll give the fish shade and stuff, but still let me be able to have a good view of everything. That's going to be the main supporting beam, and I have to raise it on this end still, but I'll show you how I connected it over here. I drove a piece of rebar into this stump right here, and then drilled me a hole and beat it down on there. It is very solid. I'm getting ready to fold this over though, just to make sure it never comes back off. When I get that size raised and some of the supports put in, I'll give y'all another look at it. and thanks for watching. Alright guys, this right here is how it came out. That's going to be my main arch right there. And I'll run supports down to the bank behind it, and that should give a good amount of shade and coverage for any fish or anything I get in there in the future. I think it looks pretty good. I'll give you all a closer look at everything. Those blocks I had sitting on the end right there, I hadn't mortared them yet, so I used those for this. I'll get some more to replace that later. I just had them sitting there for looks to get an idea how I was doing things. But we'll put that back here soon. I should be able to go get more supplies tomorrow from Lowe's. I think that'll make a pretty good archway though. The overflow will be right there to the water wheel. Let's get up, look at it from this angle. I'll have that run right across to the water wheel. And then I have this right here. And I'll continue my wall right on around to about where that rock is. But it looks pretty good. I'll run supports to the bank like that. After I get done running some beams and I get everything supported good and strong, I'll use that leftover tin I found the other day digging out here to fill a lot of the voids and gaps, and I'll backfill with dirt a little. It should make it kind of like a cave feeling, gazebo type feeling. I'm not sure what the proper word for it is. But it should add a good bit of shade for the fish and stuff. I've opened up the area down here a little bit more too. I would still like to do some digging from this far bank back here and open it up just a little bit more. But I'm about done with digging down here and the lower wall. The upper wall, I've started on it. You can see where the overflow is. I'm going to run it from where that pot is out here to this stump, and that'll be my overflow. But it's coming along good, and I hope everyone stays tuned to see it finished, and I'm getting excited to get it filled up with water. Alright guys, we're getting ready to start back on it today. I just now got done leaf blowing everything, getting everything figured out. I did pick up some more supplies. We'll finish up this lower wall today, and I'll start on the grotto. I couldn't think of the name of it yesterday, but that's kind of what I'm wanting to make, is a grotto. Something that will be kind of like a partial cave, cast shade down there in the water and stuff when it's filled up. There's a look at some of the supplies I picked up. I got a bunch more mortar. You can see I piled all the leaves up in that far corner. I'll worry about getting them out here in a minute. But the water will overflow right here. I'm gonna build a second wall up here, coming across all the way to that. Let it go straight across through there. And then this will be my overflow spot. It will pour down into that rock and then go off the side. We took a jackhammer. It's kind of hard to tell the depth perception of how deep the bowl is, but we took it down quite a few inches. Maybe that gives you a little bit better perspective. We took it down quite a few inches with a jackhammer. I just wanted it to puddle right there. I thought it would look nice. And then it overflows on down. The tubing is a secondary overflow if for some reason I'm not getting enough flow out of that. This piece I'm going to extend up with another piece of 2-inch piping, and I will drill holes in it so it works like a filter. I just still have to add that piece on, and I'm going to build that little catchment up around it. But we're almost done with the lower side of the dam. I'm feeling pretty good about it, and I'm excited to see it get filled up. We're not far off. Alright, stay tuned and I'll get back with y'all as soon as we get a little bit of work done. Alright, we finally got all the block roughly set in place. Been working on it the last few minutes out here. I still gotta go back and mortar it. But that's the full lower dam wall completed. Now all that's left is the upper wall. Line the inside of it so it doesn't leak and fill it up with water. I'll get that mortared together and start on my timbering here soon to make that a grotto. I think it's going to turn out really good. I may try to dig a little bit more out of the inside on this backhand side. Widen it out just a little bit more. But I think it's came out pretty good so far. We'll start working on doing the water wheel down through here next. It'll take me a little bit of time to get everything lined out, and I still gotta finish up the upper wall too, but we're getting pretty close, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this one and stay tuned to the next. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, we're back here the next day. We got a pretty good bit done yesterday. And as you can see, I roughly set my blocks for the upper wall. Nothing's mortared or anything like that, but it's all just roughly set so I can get an idea of things. But this should give you all a better idea of what I'm planning on doing. It's still gotta be lined up right and stuff like that. I've got to get more concrete and mortar. This is how the spillway gate will work. I cut a board to fit in the notch inside. You can see down in there where the, let's see if I can get the focus. You can kind of see where it's notched down in there though. It's notched on this side too. The board fits down in there pretty tight though. You can see it right there. And I'm gonna put a little bit more mortar across through here just to make sure it doesn't leak too much. And I'll mortar the gap in between. But this is a rough look at the upper wall. I'll step over here on the other side of it. Give y'all a little bit of a better perspective. And the reason this right here curves the way it does is because if I'm not home or something to open the overflow and I need to, I want it to overflow on this end so it flows down into the lower side of the dam. The main beam right there will be for my grotto. I'm gonna start putting in some timbering for it here soon. But it's a pretty good sized bowl down in here, guys. It should hold a pretty good amount of water. I've put one solar powered light on that end, and I'm gonna run solar powered lights across through here to light up everything when I get done. I set that up as a flower pot and a stand, I guess. All of it's going to be mortared together, and I'll paint it afterwards. The stairs I had down here, I decided to redo them, and I'll give y'all a good look at that. I busted everything up right here on this end and took it all up, and I decided to do it terraced with much bigger steps, kind of like you would see on a hiking trail or something. I think it'll work a lot better long term. That's where we're gonna put the water wheels, right down here, and it'll overlook my greenhouse down there. Not sure how good you guys can see that. Hopefully I can do a video on the greenhouse here soon. This right here will be to rest the truss on from the water truss I'm going to put right there. I needed something that could hold the weight on this end, so I will mortar all that in place and get it leveled up, and that can hold the other side of it. I still got to move these blocks in place, but I'm gonna line it up with this wall and backfill all that with dirt. But here's a good look at it from this side. I got a lot of mortaring to do coming up, but we're getting pretty close overall. There's not a whole lot more to do. I'll put a ram pump down below us here, and I have a natural spring down below me about where my greenhouse sits at. So I can pump water from down there back up through here. I'll let it feed into the upper side, and then it'll trickle down, filling this up. The only time my water will really spin at any good speed will be when I have a storm or something, but we'll make sure we get enough flow coming back uphill to keep it turning. But this is just a quick update, and I hope everyone's enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next one, and thanks for watching.